Hi, it's Levi, and I'm here at the Team 17 Media Showcase checking out some really cool games. I'm here with the Blasphemous 2 developers, Enrique and David. How are y'all doing today?
We are doing well, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
Now, speaking about Blasphemous 2, this is obviously an expanded sequel to the first game. Can you talk to me a little bit about how the sequel has changed in comparison to the first game?
This time, the penitent one, the main character of this game, can use 3 weapons instead of 1, and he can change the weapons in an instant. So the combat could be way more expressive than the first one. Also, players can find interesting the way those weapons are used to not just in combat, but also to explore new areas. They can use a combination of those weapons to reach and unlock new places in the map. So I think this is the main feature that defines the sequel.
So speaking of Blasphemous 2 as a Metroidvania, because that's obviously its core, can you talk a little bit about some of the inspirations for the game and how those inspirations have informed not just the development of the first game, but the expansion that's happening here in the sequel?
Yeah, for Blasphemous 2, we wanted to make a more pure Metroidvania, because in the first game, it's not quite that. Those mechanics that helps you explore the map are not mandatory, are optional. So it's not a pure Metroidvania. But this time, the team really wanted to make a more pure Metroidvania. So we got inspired by our favorite Metroidvania, like Castlevania Symphony of the Night and Metroid or Metroid Saga and everything, and many Metroidvanias that are out there, which are amazing. So we got inspiration from them to really create a more pure game from this genre.
So considering that this is a Metroidvania, can you talk a little bit about how weapon variety informs exploration opportunities?
For example, the war sensor, the heaviest weapon, can hit big bells that creates a sound wave that grows and reveals hidden platforms. So you can use that weapon to be able to use those platforms, but in a moment you have to switch to the rapier to hit these flying mirrors that teleport you to another place. And eventually you can change to the sword and then make a dive attack that opens a door in the floor. So you have to be get familiar with these abilities to be able to switch between them in order to solve a puzzle, for example.
Can you talk about some of the inspiration? What are we seeing? What are the characters? What is the lore? What's the backbone of Blasphemous?
The main inspiration is a whole bunch of different cultures. Not only the cultures and religious things, but architectural. We have inspiration from movies. We have inspiration from books from Spain, old books, from all kind of music styles, flamenco styles.
Yeah, Blasphemous basically is a dark fantasy game. So as there is a lot of dark fantasy games out there.
So in the credits of Blasphemous 2 is Humberto Velez, a very familiar name for anyone who's familiar with Homer Simpson. He voices the character in Latin America.
Me voy de viaje para Armenia. Oye, no todo eso es cierto.
What was it like working with the Latin American voice for Homer Simpson?
He did an amazing work, and the character is just as we wanted. He's very, as I said, very professional, and we are really happy with how this turned out.
This is Levi Winslow with Kotaku.com. Video games forever.